During, you guys were coming back a series in which you hard fought back with Barcelona and you came out stronger at the end. Would you mind considering, like, eventually if Euroleague considers a change of format instead of the Final Four, or you're up for, do you prefer the Final Four format in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I think both are good. I think the Final Four experience is obviously a lot of excitement because it is just one game, similar to the Super Bowl in the U.S. we have in American football. It's a pretty big event. So I think that's exciting for the fans, but obviously I think also that there's something to be said about a series and having, the two best teams play in a best of 3 or a best of 5 series to get a true champion as well. So I can see positives on both sides, and I can see both sides.
You were on the other side of the floor last year, so like, how was it for you as a player, as a person, going up against the guys you fought with last year, eventually coming out on the other side of the floor? How was it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I would have loved to get the victory and to, help us move on to the final. But, the reality is you're not going to win every game in the Final Four. And I've been fortunate enough to now have played in 3 Final Fours. So, hopefully in my career that this is just, one step in the journey. And like I said, now the goal is just to get ready and try to come back next year.
And Coach Bartzokas yesterday in the post-game press conference emphasized, the strength of the group and the fact that you guys, stick together, at least the vast majority of the locker room. How are you feeling that, and what was the sensation within the group after last night? What's the mood right now?
The mood is disappointment. Like I said, I mean, we got a group that's super confident in our abilities, and we know when we play our best basketball that we can beat anyone in Europe. And yesterday wasn't our best, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. So, obviously, we'll stay together, and we still have another title to fight for after this in the Greek League. So, that's kind of where our focus is now.
I guess it's hard, to stay here to play a third place game in a way. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing. Would you mind eventually in the future a change of format in which instead of the third place there's another game, like, I don't know, the Euro Cup final, for example?
Yeah, someone brought that up today as far as the Euro Cup final being here, which I think would be really cool, for 2 Euro Cup teams who are playing for a chance to get into the EuroLeague next year, right before the championship game of EuroLeague. I think that would bring a lot of excitement, and I think even like boost, Euro Cup and the attention that Euro Cup gets. So, the biggest thing is, like I said, I just would hate to see any injuries in the 3rd and 4th place game with 2 teams that obviously still have domestic championships left. So that's really the biggest thing. And so, whatever the EuroLeague decides to do, I'm sure they'll do what's best for the players and the teams.
You know really well Panathinaikos, of course, being, an opponent also in the domestic league, and Real Madrid for obvious reasons. What are you expecting from tomorrow's finals?
I mean, I think it's going to be a great final. I think anytime you bring up a final, you can't really say what's going to happen because it's such a unique game and it's only 40 minutes. I think people saw that last year. Obviously, Olympiacos had a great, regular season and played really well in the semifinal against Monaco, but it was a totally different game versus us in the final. So 2 really good teams that have obviously earned their place in the final and should be exciting.
Are there things that after, the season isn't over yet, but the EuroLeague season it is at the end of the day. Of course, there's another game. In which aspect do you think you grow as a player, as a human being, surrounded by such a strong group?
Yeah, I mean, for me, this was my most injury-plagued season of my career. So this is my first time dealing with so many injuries. So that was a new experience for me and something that I had to rely a lot on the people around me, my family, obviously God, a man of strong faith. So just had to dig deep and find different, ways to keep my head mentally in it as I was dealing through so many injuries. And then again, just being super fortunate to be a part of this group and be back, here at Olympiacos for the first time since my first stint. It's been a great season with a great staff, great teammates, and I've really enjoyed it overall.
I have one last one. You are a little bit of everything as a guard within this team. There are specialists, Isaiah shooting-wise, Thomas, of course, defensive player of the season. Did you pick something from each of them? And in case, which are the things that you try to make your game better?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely learned from both of those guys. Like you said, two like you said, specialists and doing what they do. Definitely picked up on things that Tom does defensively, and obviously Isaiah is a specialist shooter. So it's been great to play with both of those guys and see those guys up close every day. Two great players at what they do.